afternoon down at the crematorium. And I'd just like to thank Joanna for an excellent tour and such an informative tour down there today. It was absolutely superb. And I thank you very much, Joanna, and congratulations to all your staff. They're doing a great job down there. Right we are. Thank you very much. We now go into apologies for absence. Are there any? No apologies? Right. We'll move on then. Declarations of interest. Any declarations? No, right we are. Well, item 3 is the approval of minutes of the 13th of June 25. Could I have a proposer to accept those minutes as a true record, please? And that is from?
I move.
Thank you, Heather, very much. And seconded? I think Barry is showing his seconds. So there we are. Thank you very much. Let's move on to agenda item 4. This is the Green Flag Award. And when we look at this item today, I think those that were present this afternoon will say we should have quite honestly, we should have a gold flag for this because it was absolutely superb. So over to Joanna once again. Thank you. Over to you, Joe.
Thank you, Chairman. For the benefit of the tape, you know I'm Joanna Hamilton, the Bereavement Services Manager and Registrar for Coychurch Crematorium Joint Committee and Bridgend County Borough Council. So the Green Flag Award report on page 9 advises the Joint Committee on the crematorium's successful application for a Green Flag Award for 2025. The award is an accreditation given to publicly accessible parks and open spaces, primarily in the United Kingdom, but also around the world, in order to promote standards of excellence in good management and best practice amongst the green space sector. It is also seen as a way of encouraging high environmental standards. It is described by its issuers, Keep Britain Tidy, as an internationally recognised award that is a benchmark for well-managed green space. And whilst public parks make up most of the awardees, the Green Flag Award is also issued to sites with different uses. And all green spaces are different and diversity is encouraged, with each site being judged on its own merits. The owners of spaces that wish to hold the accreditation pay a fee to be assessed by judges on an annual basis, with a process involving an inspection of both the site and the written management plans and processes. And I thought it might interest the Joint Committee to know that the criteria for judging are a welcoming place, healthy, safe and secure, well maintained and clean, environmental management, biodiversity, landscape and heritage, community involvement, marketing and communication and management. And a failure to meet the judges' standards will result in the accreditation being withdrawn. The Green Flag Award was introduced by the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government in 1996 to recognise the reward the best green spaces in the country. The scheme was managed by the Civic Trust and has been managed by Keep Britain Tidy since 2012, delivering the scheme across the UK and various other bodies delivering it worldwide. It continues to identify and reward the high standards against which our parks and green spaces are measured, encouraging high environmental standards, setting a benchmark of excellence in recreational green areas. So Coychurch Crematorium received its first award in 2010 and annually thereafter, with the 16th award being received on the 15th of July this year. The award confirms the crematorium's commitment to maintaining high standards of maintenance and management of the site and grounds to benefit its users. There is no award ceremony this year, and the green flag has been delivered directly to the crematorium, where it is currently displayed on the flagpole. Keep Wales Tidy issued a formal announcement of awards on the 15th of July, And on the 28th of July, Bridgend Council issued its normal press release to promote the success of the crematorium, which can be read on page 13. The crematorium will submit a new application for the award in January next year at a cost of £350. And the Joint Committee is recommended to please note the report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Joe, very much. Does Councillor Griffiths, would you like to come in?
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. I'd just like to re-echo your sentiments regarding the visit we had this morning. But could I also pass on thanks to the staff? We saw one, I think Fiona, but there are a few more staff there. And could you pass on our committee thanks for the excellent work, because it truly was a lovely visit this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Kaparos.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to associate myself with Councillor Griffiths' comments there. Congratulations to all the staff members and officers and anyone who's played a part in achieving the Green Flag Award. It truly is a really amazing space to be around, and I think it's a fantastic job. Well done.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Paul Davis.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, ditto here, Chair, just to show my appreciation to the staff and everyone involved up in the Crem for their efforts to get the green flag. It was absolutely fantastic up there, and it was extremely informative, I have to say. I've been to parts of the Crem I've never been to before, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Can't praise it highly enough. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Stevens.
Thank you, Chair. Just to endorse what we've been saying, you know, it's one thing to get to these standards, but it's another thing to maintain them. And my big thanks and best wishes to everybody involved over the years to achieve these standards and maintain them. I'm very proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I need a proposer and a seconder. A proposer that we note the report with our thanks to everyone.
I move.
Thank you. And seconder?
Second it, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joanna, once again. Absolutely superb. Now we go on to agenda item 5, which is the internal audit of Coychurch Crematorium. Are you taking this, Joe?
I am, Chair. Thank you.
There we are. Over to you then. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The report to advise the Joint Committee of a recent internal audit begins on page 15, with the audit report itself attached at pages 19 to 25. The internal audit review of the crematorium was undertaken as part of Bridgend Council's 2025-26 internal audit plan. This was a comprehensive audit with testing in respect of the financial year 2024-25, looking in detail at the internal control, governance and risk management arrangements, which were evaluated against a number of audit objectives, including the crematorium's statutory obligations and governance in relation to monitoring arrangements for performance management, budgetary reviews and scrutiny, the crematorium's overall management, the crematorium's staffing in relation to the accounting management of new starters, leavers and employees, the crematorium's data security, the crematorium's budgetary control in relation to monitoring of debts, recording of income and timely banking, ensuring orders and invoices are authorised in line with delegated authorisation limits and with the correct segregation of duties, and are recorded in a timely manner through the Council's accounting systems and in compliance with financial procedure rules, and that there are also the further controls in place to enable certification of the crematorium's financial annual return ended the 31st of March 2025. I am pleased that many strengths and areas of good practice were identified for each audit objective. No areas for improvement were identified during the audit, and no recommendations were raised removing the need for a management action plan. The audit opinion concluded the highest level of assurance as substantial assurance with a sound system of governance, risk management and control existing, with internal controls operating effectively and being consistently applied to support the achievement of objectives in the areas audited. The Joint Committee is recommended to please note the report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Joe, very much. Would anyone like to ask a question? Councillor Spanswick.
Thank you, Chair. And first, I'd like to move the report for noting and no questions, because if the auditor hasn't got questions, I'm sure I'm not going to have questions. And it is so pleasing to see substantial assurance. And my reading, there's nothing the auditor could find that needed any change or improvement. There's some excellent work going on there. So again, just like Green Flag, congratulations, Joanna and your team. And to get a report like this, it starts at the top with yourself. And it takes that person to filter that sort of work across the whole team there. So many thanks, and move the report.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Do I have a seconder?
I second it, Chair.
Second, Councillor Stevens. Everyone happy? I'm particularly happy. It's another good report. Excellent. And thank you again, once again, Joe. Now we come to agenda item 6, which is a report from Joanna on the Flower Court extension, which is very, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, the report to advise the Joint Committee of a recent article published in the Royal Society of Architects in Wales begins on page 27, with the article itself attached at page 31. So the new Flower Court extension, which many of us saw today, it opened to the public in November 2023 after 12 months of construction work. It was designed by the well-known architect Jonathan Adams, and the project was managed by Mr. Adams and myself as the client officer. The touchstone is the Journal for Architecture in Wales. It's published by the Royal Society of Architects in Wales, and the 2024 journal includes an article on pages 12 to 15. It's entitled Respect for the Departed, which is written about the new Flower Court extension and its connection to the original highly valued architecture of the crematorium. The article is extremely complimentary about the exceptional design of the new Flower Court, highlighting the quality of the build and the way it complements the existing building, while standing apart as an excellent piece of architecture in its own right and perfectly fit for its purpose. There is mention that the original architect, Maxwell Fry, when giving a lecture to the Royal Society of Arts after the crematorium opened in 1970, conceded that the omission of a dispersal social space was an oversight. The narrow cloister provided by Fry was considered an inappropriate spiritual departure, when in everything up to that point, he had demonstrated remarkable sensitivity to the emotional journey. The article states that Jonathan Adams has corrected that omission magnificently with a distinct new edition, which is full of positive respect for its host. The article complements the design of the handkerchief vault, an ancient architectural form now being assembled in a contemporary way using hardwood with its curvatures echoing Fry's elemental geometry. There is also mention of the floor patterns and materials of the Flower Court being an extension of a comparable pattern in the chapel and similar low limestone walling echoing that used by Fry enclosing the two edges of the Flower Court. It is considered that the act of departing from the crematorium now has real presence, with an appropriate but not subservient level of respect for the historical value of the host buildings and landscape. There is a rather touching last paragraph which complements the positive relationship and trust formed between the architect and myself as principal client, which it was felt assisted the quality of the building created. It is also noted that it is the journalist Janet Marshall's last ever article for Touchstone as she retires from journalism, which I think makes it rather special for us. So the Joint Committee is recommended to please note to the report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Joe, very much. It was extremely interesting to read this because, quite honestly, we've been really recognised with this outstanding piece of architecture. And I really, every time I walk in there, I think absolutely wonderful. Does anyone wish to ask a question or a comment? Councillor Spanswick.
Thank you, Chair. No, I suppose, firstly, move the report. I just wondering, there's an amazing design, but there's, I can't think it was called, with some sort of national awards for architectural design that takes place, where this has been submitted. I'm not sure if it has or not, but clearly should be submitted for some national award.
Yes, actually, the architect did submit us for that, or at least one of those awards. The judges came around about 12 months ago, just under 12 months ago. I've not heard anything since. I know they were very taken with the building, but obviously there's a huge amount of competition across Wales. I mean, it was a UK judging team, so it wasn't just for our local area or indeed Wales. So I haven't heard from the architect, so I don't believe that anything has come of it. But certainly we were entered in a national award competition.
Thank you very much, Councillor Spanswick. It might be worth if we could just speak to someone you know, because it would be interesting if we were in the top 10 even of the UK, if it was that awards level. So could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Stevens, thanks very much. So very good indeed. It was great to see that, and a good read, quite honestly. Thank you, Joe, very much.
Thank
and
you,
now
Chair.
we come to agenda item 7, which is the revenue monitoring statement, 1st of April 25 to 30th of June 25, an annual accounting statement 24-25 update. I take Dean has taken this one.
You're correct, Chair.
There we are. Over to you, Dean.
Thank you, Chair. Chairman, for the purpose of the recording, my name is Dean Jones, and I am the accountant of the Financial Control and Closing Team for Bridgend County Borough Council. The purpose of the report, like the Chairman mentioned, and it starts on page 141 of the public pack agenda, is to inform the Joint Committee of the income and expenditure for the first quarter of the 25-26 financial year, along with a projection of the final outturn for 25-26, and to provide an update to the committee in relation to the annual accounting statement for 24-25, which can be seen in Appendix 1. As illustrated in Table 1 on point 3.1, the projected budget surplus for 25-26 is 402,000, which is an increase of £22,000 compared to the budget surplus, which we had projected as 380,000. This surplus will increase the available reserves held by Coychurch Crematorium. The variances are shown in Table 1 on point 3.1 on page 142 of the public pack agenda. The increase in the surplus is due to a staff vacancy, reducing employee costs, and an increase in the projected investment income. As illustrated in point 3.3 on page 143 of the public agenda pack, which highlights the balances included in the 24-25 annual return. The annual return was submitted to Audit Wales earlier in the year, and is projected to be signed off by the end of this year. And if there's any delay, a public notice Article 10 will be raised and presented, and the committee will be notified. I can confirm that this was provided back in the previous meeting on the 13th of June 2025, and the value is the same. There is a surplus of £615,097, and the accumulated funds as of the end of March 2025 was £2,698,920. The full annual return can be seen on Appendix 1. And as what is recommended to the Joint Committee is to note the income expenditure for the first quarter of 25-26, along with projection of the final outturn for 25-26, and the position in relation to the audit of the annual accounting statement 24-25, as shown in Appendix 1. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I return back to the Chairman.
Thank you, Dean, very much. Any questions? No questions? Are you happy to note whatever proposer?
Sorry, Chair, can I?
Councillor Spanswick and seconder.
Yeah, Chair, a question.
I'll
Councillor
second.
Councillor Stevens seconded. Councillor Spanswick, thank you very much.
I was just, can I end up asking a question, Chair, if I can?
Question, certainly.
Just to clarify, paragraph 3.3 about this regulation 10 notice, but so the paragraph says it was the accounts were submitted to Audit Wales end of July. So I take it we're waiting for Audit Wales. If they don't audit by end of September, then we issue sub regulation 10 notice. Just a bit of clarity on that technical point, how that works, perhaps, if I can.
You are correct, Councillor Spanswick. Yes, if it is with Audit Wales, it's over to them, and hopefully the report will be finalised. I believe everything has been completed to this stage. There's just some minor alter touches on the full BCBC accounts, and if that does come up, we will know closer to the time if that needs to be raised. And of course, the regulation 10 is just to notify that there will be a delay, and when that delay is likely to when we're likely to sign things off. I hope that satisfies the question.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, happy. Thank you very much indeed. It's been proposed and seconded. Thank you very much. Now, I have no urgent items in front of me, so that concludes the agenda for today. I would just like to thank you all very much for attending, and also attending the crematorium earlier this afternoon, which, as we said earlier, was a very enjoyable event. I hope you all have a very enjoyable weekend, at least tomorrow where the sun is here. I'm afraid it's going to rain on Sunday, so I'm told, but there we are. Thank you very much, and goodbye, everyone. Look forward to the next meeting, and don't forget the Christmas event at the crematorium. I'd like to see everybody there this year. It would be really good. Thank you very much. Bye then.